Wasn't a dream. It really happened.
We live. What up, KK?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your boy 2K Suave. I'm joined with A-Rod, and I'm joined with Mr. Sammy himself, Sammy the Bull. I don't know if you're watching the telecast right now. I got a brand new camera. Gentlemen, how does my camera look? Let's be honest.
Crispy.
How does my camera look? I look crispy right now with this my janky ass hat and everything. But thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy our most recent episode. I think A-Rod listened to it maybe like 6 times because it was so funny.
It was
It doesn't matter if you haven't listened to it, listen to it still because it was hilarious. But we got a lot on deck today. This is like my bachelor send off podcast episode. So this is my last one as a single man apparently. So I'm hoping I'm having fun with my boys, A-Rod, with my boy Sammy. So Sammy, what we got going on, man?
Yes, sir. We got a lot going on today. So obviously, we're gonna start with the wacky, crazy thing. We got the NFL chit chat to talk about. Obviously, we're gonna do some college football stuff because things got a little bit wild this weekend. And then we're gonna wrap
Boy,
it
did
up
it.
with some NBA. So yeah, take it away, KK.
All right. So let's kick things off with the wacky crazy things. So I'm gonna let A-Rod go first because he seems like he has a lot on his mind.
I got nothing. I mean, we can say the college football rankings. That's kind of wacky in a way, the way it all panned out. And but for me, it's going back to New York. Zach Wilson getting thrown back to the Wolves again and being hesitant of coming back. That's a little wacky to me, but we're gonna touch on that pause in a little bit.
I got a
Um,
lot to say.
yeah, I do too. And New York making a big move. The Yankees making a big move to get Juan Soto, only for it to be put on hold now. So
Oh, it's got put
uh,
on hold.
they got put on hold. We went and got Verdugo yesterday, and now we're getting Juan Soto, and it's been put on hold. I don't know. We need pitching. I don't know how many bats do we need? How many bats do we need?
How
So
you feel about that, Sammy?
I don't really
he's a
care, to be honest.
he's a Soto
That's,
coming,
I mean,
coming
to
in.
be honest, that's my favorite baseball player, so it hurts my soul. Like I had
Okay,
his San Diego jersey. Now I'm definitely not getting a Yankees jersey.
good job.
But yeah, but yeah, I could care less, honestly. I mean, like he just said, where's the pitching? And Red Sox, same thing. Where the fuck is the pitching? So
Hey, we got rid of Craig Kimbrell, let him go to Baltimore, which I'm not mad about because to me he cost us the World Series. So hey, I'm okay with it. But what's the wacky crazy thing for you, Mr. Sammy?
probably the Patriots losing 6-0.
Yeah, that's wild.
That was pretty wacky and
That
crazy.
was,
So
what made it worse was that I needed Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen to do something for me in fantasy. I'm like, oh, they got this,
Stick.
and I'm like, do something,
bro.
please.
Bro,
They
A
did
Rod was at my
absolutely
house,
nothing.
man, and I had the red zone going because obviously we wanted to see as much action as we could. Pause.
Pause.
But they kept cutting back to the Patriots game, and we were like, all right, they only cut to the Patriots game like twice because there was like only two plays that were worth a crap, but the score was 6-0 at both instances. I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
That's crazy. And then on top of that, I had Ramondre Stevenson, and I watched him go down. That game was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life. Like it was annoying for me. All right, for me, some positive news. Manchester United beat Chelsea today. Mr. Scott McTominay is a dog. He's been a dog. He's been a dog, and I love the guy.
He's been clutch.
Um, very clutch. Shohei Ohtani is keeping quiet about his free agency, and I heard like a weird interview with what's his name from the Dodgers, the
Roberts.
yeah Roberts, and he's just I don't know, it just sounded very just awkward. So normally I was listening to Dan Patrick a little bit earlier, and he was talking about it. He was like, normally during this time of year, it's like it's the hot stove. It's supposed to be exciting, and the most famous, popular, probably one of the greatest players that will ever play this game is, and Shohei Ohtani is like, we don't even know what's going on. Like, there's no circus around it, which we're kind of like accustomed to. So I just kind of find that whole situation pretty wacky. personally. And then also I heard like a stat the other day in the NFL, because there's been a lot of quarterbacks that have gone down. I don't know if it was accurate or not, but I think they said 70 quarterbacks have taken a snap this year in the National Football League, which
No pun intended.
which is oh my God. A-Rod. Oh,
I'm on a roll today. Out the gates.
oh my God. Yo, that joke went over my head for a second, and then I had
And
to
then it
bring- I
came
had to
back.
say- I had to like a boomerang. It came
Wine's
back.
hit, boys.
I
The
was
wine's
like,
hit.
oh shit, here he goes. So have taken a snap, correct, over this season alone, which is pretty insane to me. Trevor Lawrence, the latest victim. We'll see how he does next week, but yeah, let's get on, man. Let's look. Obviously, the NFL is something we need to get to, right? But college football had me bent on Sunday, man. It's just my mood, and I'm not even a Florida State fan. I want everybody to know that I don't really give two shits about Florida State. I don't really care about Georgia. I don't care. I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan through and through. I closetly will support for Alabama, and then USF obviously. But the college rankings came out. And from that moment on, I feel like there's been such a whirlwind around the NCAA. So we have like 3,000 players who entered the transfer portal, 3,000, and a lot of notable quarterbacks included in that. Like who I got? Dylan Gabriel. Like, what do you need to prove? Kyle McCord. Like, come on, you suck. And then Riley Leonard. DJ, you like, what do you like? These people are going to their third school.
Uigalele is going to the portal.
Yeah, so it's like that's happening. There's this whole money thing is becoming a problem again. Coaches are just kind of leaving left to right, and then to put the cap on the weekend, the college football playoff committee made some controversial moves. So. We have our playoffs. We have Michigan 1, Washington 2, Texas 3, and Alabama 4. So, A-Rod, I'm going to start with you on this one. We're going to take this from the Alabama perspective and how they fit in as opposed to the team that didn't make it. So, I mean, what was your take on on basically the rankings as they came out from an Alabama perspective?
I mean, Alabama definitely deserves to be in there. Texas has a strong case to be in it for me as well. And so does Georgia. But the clear one that should be in there, I say at 4 or at least 3 should be Florida State, in my opinion. They went undefeated. I know it was a bullshit game, but at the end of the day, what they're looking at is your record, your opponents that you're playing, the players that are on the field is the biggest one, and of all the players that are on the field is the quarterback. So if you look at every one of the quarterbacks from these programs, they're not household. I mean, most are household names, but they're well known to people that watch college sports.
I mean, no, they're pretty. I mean, J.J. McCarthy was highly recruited. Quinn Ewers was highly recruited.
Yeah.
And then obviously Buddy in Washington has been fantastic.
Yeah, so, they're all people who we know of, but nobody knows who the third string quarterback for Florida State is, and that's kind of what put him out. And that sucks. But the way that I see that, it's like you got through adversity. You lost one, you lost another, and the third one came in, and you still won. You still want it. They should be in my opinion.
To reward the defense. That's how I saw it. Like, yeah,
I see it that way too.
Yeah.
Georgia. Vic hit the nail on the head last week when he said the only time you can't lose is the last game of the season. And Georgia, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are upset that they're not in, all the Georgia fans, but you coasted through the entire year, and then it came down to the big game, and
they lost like a field goal. It was just a field goal. TCU lost their last game last year, like I mentioned last week, and they did not move from the third spot. So, like, why do they get to stay there? And not Georgia. They dropped Georgia from 1 to 6, and last year they kept TCU at 3. But when you look at it, are they blaming TCU for the reason why they have to do what they do because of what happened in the championship?
I think so because nobody wanted to watch a national championship like that again. That was horrendous. That was a mollywop and a half, man. It was ridiculous to watch that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they had a great record. I'm not taking it away from them, but they just weren't competitive. And I think the committee is now starting to crack down, because that's why we're not letting Florida State in, because we know if we let them in and they somehow sneak into the championship and they got to play in Alabama or they got to play in Michigan, they're going to get destroyed. So
But that's what TCU said last year, and they came to they beat Michigan on New Year's Eve. I had to literally watch that game and like not know what the hell is going on. So it's not like it's impossible. You know, they put up 49 or whatever, 53 points on us. It was crazy. Obviously, Georgia, that was another beast, but you know, we talk about these Cinderella stories all the time, and we're not allowing the Cinderella story to happen. But Sammy, what did you think about just Texas being in there from your perspective? Because obviously Michigan and Washington deserve to be there, and obviously, you know, my condolences to the Oregon Ducks.
yeah, we don't know anything about the Ducks, okay?
They didn't show up.
They
didn't show up.
beat y'all twice this year. They
Didn't
so
show up.
so from the Texas perspective, you know what. Tell me, first of all, do you believe Texas deserve to be in the playoffs over a Florida State, over a Georgia, over those two?
I think there's a case to be made that Texas probably shouldn't be in over Florida State, but I think Texas's future was always tied to the marriage to Alabama. Whatever happened to Alabama, Texas would have to be over them because of the fact that they beat them, right? So whatever happens to Alabama, Texas has to be a little bit ahead. Now, I think the one case can be made for Alabama. Alabama's schedule was kind of easy, to be honest, and it wasn't very impressive with the wins that they got. Yes, I know, and I hammered it to you guys, right? Yeah, I know you remember. You guys were telling me to calm down, relax, they'll be fine, RELAX about Alabama. But they had some wins in there that were really sus, and you guys can't tell. I know a win's a win, right? Win's a win, doesn't matter. But a lot of those wins were very sus, and I know A-Rod on the other side is saying, Georgia coasted. Yeah, but they destroyed everybody that they faced until they faced Alabama. Same can't be said for Alabama. But the other point that I really wanted to make and kind of point out to you guys is, so I did a little research beforehand. I like to do data just kind of like how Vic does. And one of the things that I did notice, I wanted to look at the viewership of all the games throughout the year, right? In particular, I looked at the championship games. Obviously, what were the top three were the top four teams that are currently in the championship.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan. Yeah. Washington, Oregon.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, which brings me to my point about this whole thing. And that's when we're looking at all this NIL, we're looking at all of this, the collectives and everything that's going on right now. What is the bottom line? It's money. It's a business, right? So, look at the markets that they're going to get to watch the playoffs, right? They get the whole West Coast supporting Washington, because if there's a Pac-12 team in there, everybody in the West Coast is going to be like, all right, man, we got to see what happens, right? We got to see if we can compete with those boys down south and those boys, you know what I mean? Then you got Texas. I mean, Texas, bro. It's the University of Texas. Like, you got, what's his name on the sideline? Like, you got Austin. It's Texas, and they have their own channel, their own network. Of course, Texas is getting in.
Yeah.
Alabama, they won the SEC championship. Nick Saban is not going to be held out of the playoffs. He could have jumped from 20 to 4. They won the SEC championship. They were going to put them.
That's big facts.
They're going to put them in there, and then obviously, if it's not Ohio State, it's Michigan. It's like if one of the other make it, it's a win. So no matter what, when we pull back the curtain and everything like that. Did they make the right decision? As a viewer, absolutely. As a fan, absolutely. Like, this is the best TV product that they can put out. Obviously, we want to avoid TCU, Georgia. Like, we never want to see that again, right? We'll probably start seeing it again next year with the 12-team playoffs. But for right now, we don't want to see that in the semifinal or the finals, right? So, from a financial standpoint, they did what they had to do, right? I just feel for those kids at Florida State.
Yeah.
Overall, because if it's Coach Norvell on the first day of training camp or 2 days or whatever came to me, did his little speech in the locker room, guys, we're gonna go undefeated this year in the ACC. We're definitely going to the playoffs. That would be my mindset the whole time. So it's not the kids' fault that the ACC didn't kind of live up to their expectations as they should this year. It's not their fault. I mean, you got Jordan Travis saying he wished he would have broke his leg earlier, so that he can show how good this team is. And quite frankly, they've beaten 2 SEC teams this year. I mean, Jaden Daniels is probably going to win the Heisman.
The ACC actually has a winning record against the SEC this year.
They do. Exactly. So it's like, what are we really looking at? Because we're so used to SEC being so dominant. The Pac-12 was more dominant this year. ACC versus SEC, ACC did their shit. So it's like, from a fairness standpoint, I just feel for the kids at Florida State. From a business standpoint, I get it. From a viewership standpoint, I get it. But
I think the other point to be made is if you look at how Florida State matches up against some of these other teams, I believe if you look it up, Florida State would have been 13-point dogs against Michigan. They're currently 13-point dogs against Georgia. So, and if you look at the other matchups, I believe they're no less than 5. So I think
one's 4.5 and one's 1.5.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they made the right choice, as unfortunate as it may sound. But I think, like you alluded to when you were discussing, the whole Georgia TCU thing, like they don't want that to happen again, right? Like that was terrible. So I think they made the right choice, and I know it is unfortunate for FSU, but I mean that's just the way the cookie crumbles at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, it's a business, right? You got to know what to sign it up for at the end of the day. So, but yeah, so we'll see what happens with the playoffs. Any early predictions for you guys?
It's gonna be tough for you to watch Michigan, Alabama.
Right. So, I forgot to make that point. Obviously the NCAA has been pissed off at the University of Michigan all year, right?
Oh my God! Stop.
You don't see what they're trying to do. Why did they put them at 3? Put them at 3. They won the SEC championship, not the Big 12 championship. Put them at 3. Why Michigan got to play Alabama in the first round? What kind of they don't like Harbaugh.
That I guarantee you though, because if you look at the ratings, Michigan averages about like 9 to 10 million viewers a week. Alabama averages about 7 to 8 million viewers a week. Bro, that matchup's going to be insane.
It's going to be so much money to be that we got to make this bread. I'm sorry.
Nobody's watching the second game. Everybody's watching that one.
Now, that Washington-Texas game could be intriguing, though. Like, Texas, for the shit that I've been giving them, they almost lost, to some close games. And, they should have, I don't know. To me, who they Oregon State, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State got thrashed by who was it? UCF. They got thrashed by UCF. That same school was representing. Come on, man. I was a little ticked off about that, who their opponent was. But for what it's worth, Quinn Ewers and that Texas team is they're pretty good, right? And Washington, we've been talking about Michael Penix all year, so he's a Heisman candidate. You know what I mean? So that game. I think that game's going to be a little bit more high scoring, whereas Alabama and Michigan is going to be a lot more grinded out, tough yards, like some 1980s kind of football shit. So I think both games will be good, but, if I had to get an early prediction, I'm just going to go with, this is Big Ten champions, University of Michigan. We're about to win the NCAA championship this year too, because fuck it, why not?
Why not us?
Why not us? Go blue. All right, so we go into the NFL, right? Decided to change things up a little bit, right?
I like that Birdman hand rub you just did.
I decided to change things up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So instead of waiting to the NBA to do Who Do You Love, we gotta do Who Do You Love right now, because Sunday night, my boy Jordan Love, who I talked to you about him before the season. I said I think he might be the real deal. I don't know. I just see something in the kid, right? And he started off well, then it got pretty rocky. I didn't watch that game. I put on the highlights again and just watch his throws. My dog was looking like Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like he was throwing that thing, bro. He was on back foot, 1, 2, shoot, 3, He was throwing it into tight pockets and everything. So I think Jordan Love is way on his way right now, and Green Bay did it again, bro. I think they might have done it again. So we're gonna do Who Do You Love featuring Jordan Love. And I did people who are in his age group. So he's 20, I think he's 24. So basically people within his age group. So we're going to start with Mr. Justin Herbert. A-Rod, go. Who do you love? Jordan Love, Justin Herbert.
Oh, man. It's hard. I got to think, man. It should be a clear-cut answer, but
it should be, right?
I want to lean more to Herbert if he didn't have Staley as a coach. I would lean more that way, but right now I'm giving the edge to Jordan Love right now, because it looks like he has rapport with his receivers.
Yeah.
And that's what I was alluding to. I think last show.
All young receivers too.
They're all because Quentin Johnston, like he went on TV and said, "My mom ain't got to work no more. She got to go back to work because that man can't catch anything that's thrown his way." I like with Jordan Love because that's what you want to see, and we know Herbert has he can make the throws to Keenan Allen, and when Mike Williams is not with a head injury every other year or tearing his ACL. He's got good connection with them, but the record of that team reflects it. However, watching what Jordan Love is doing this entire time, even win or lose, he's still throwing for like 300 yards a game, and he's finding Romeo Dobbs doesn't get enough praise. Everybody looks to Justin Watson, but like the big plays that are made on that team, or Christian Watson, yeah. The big plays that are made on that team are always Romeo Dobbs and Reed. Those two guys.
Reed, that's my dog. I love Jalen Reed.
Yeah, because like nobody thinks he'll cover Dobbs, and like he gets a 40-yard catch. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how does it? He's got good reports, so I'm gonna give a leg up, and it's so hard for me to say it. If Staley leaves, because I've been counting down the days since Black Friday for this to happen, and he's still there. So I'm gonna give a just like a hair to Jordan Love right now.
All right, Sammy, go ahead.
I want to know what A-Rod is drinking because I want some of that. Because if you think Jordan Love is over Justin Herbert, I don't know. I don't care. It's all Staley's fault. We've seen what Justin Herbert can do. He's been amazing every single year besides this year. This year is 100% not his fault. You can even tell just by the play calling. Like the play calling has been so fucking atrocious. But if you're looking from a strictly talent perspective and who would you in mid-20s, right? Who would you build a team around? It's Justin Herbert's hands down. And yeah, go Ducks.
Is that what's contributing to this? Because
I would want to go with Herbert, but what I've seen from Jordan Love is really, really impressed me.
But what have you seen?
I really want to go to Herbert, but the issue is Staley. If Staley wasn't there, I'd have another pick. I'm looking at it as a whole right now.
No, you're not. You're looking at it from this year. You're looking at it from this year.
Okay. Are we looking at it as for the future, or how are we looking at this at? I'm sorry.
From here on out.
Going forward.
Here on out?
Going forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm going Herbert then. Sorry. I'm sticking with Herbert.
I don't know, man. Like, I want to go Herbert. Like, and I'm with you. I'm with you both. We see it. We get it, right? But at some point, if a player is that great, they got to overcome their coach, man. Like, at some point, they got to overcome the coach somehow. Like,
we also talk about Keenan Allen like not being always healthy, like, and that's not his fault. That's not his fault.
That's fair.
The motherfucker goes on and gets 200 yards every game on like a broken kneecap.
Aaron Rodgers,
and then is out the following week.
Aaron Rodgers saw all these young wide receivers. He was like, "Ew, absolutely not," and ran away. Jordan Love saw these young wide receivers, like, "I got something here," and again, I remember when Aaron Rodgers first started playing because I was very interested to see how he was going to do taking over from Brett Favre because that whole fiasco with Brett Favre retiring. You know what I mean? So it was chaos. And how Aaron Rodgers took those reins and just kind of just ran with it, I was like, all right, now I'm watching it now, and I'm watching Jordan Love. I'm like, man, the dude got something. He's got something to his game. I think it's
what's going on in Green Bay.
I think it might be. It might just be his confidence. You know what I mean? I think it's his confidence that I admire. So from a talent perspective, right this second, of course, you go with Justin Herbert, right? But who do I love? I kind of love Jordan Love. I kind of love Jordan Love a little bit more just because, like, obviously the sample size is small. But I'm just mapping this out, and I'm like, at some point he's going to pass. I think he's just going to pass a lot of these quarterbacks. But right now, obviously, talent perspective, yes, Justin Herbert. But 5 years from now, we're probably going to be saying different praises because Brandon Staley's got naked pictures of the GM and. He's never getting fired. So.
I do want to say this too. Like, think about this. Like the shit that Dan Orlovsky was praising. What's his name? I can't even think of him. Oh my god. Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. He was praising Josh Allen, trying to forgive him, all this other stuff, and nobody's doing that for Justin Herbert. Everybody is throwing him in the mud. Everybody's, even though the
I'm
Staley thing is a
not
big
necessarily
thing.
throwing him in the mud. It's
There's a
just
lot of people that are coming or reneging on what they're saying, like they're coming back on it and being like, oh, maybe
because
he's not all that because
we
of what
know the
A-Rod said.
talent. We know the talent is there. We really do. But like, at what point does how much more talent does he need to overcome a tough situation? Like Carson Wentz, when he got to the league, his that Super Bowl year, Carson Wentz was a top 5 quarterback. You can at me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. He was there.
He was.
MVP.
And then at some point, when your confidence is shot, we're gonna talk about Zach Wilson. But at some point, when your confidence is shot,
why?
When you're playing for an organization
Let me
that
get the wine.
never figures it out, it's like at what point is like Phillip Rivers, his whole career, to me, Phillip Rivers is way better than Eli Manning. But who has a better chance to get to Hall of Fame? Like it's just sometimes it's just you got to overcome some shit. Like I don't know. It's just I'm going with Jordan Love. Let's move on. Tua Tagovailoa or Jordan Love.
I'm going with Tua.
I'm taking Jordan Love.
I'm taking Jordan Love as well.
I like Tua. It's hard
I
for me
Tua. I like Tua.
Everything I was expecting to happen to Tua hasn't happened, and he's having a really, really good year.
Yeah. I would love to have a Tyreek Hill in my
Exactly.
back pocket. I would love to have that in my back pocket.
Shit, I mean, Packers go spend. That's all I can say.
It's so cheap.
Go spend. That's why you live in shit.
All these dudes that they've drafted, they look phenomenal now. Like Mr. Watson from Plant High School, he's looking pretty damn good out there. Romeo Dobbs, he's always making. They had this new kid that they were throwing the ball to. I never even heard of him. He threw to like 3 different tight ends. This new receiver, like he's spreading the love, bro. This is what Aaron Rodgers was doing back then.
Something that a lot of teams they're trying to do something a lot of teams aren't trying to do, and that's what Tom Brady was kind of alluding to too. That they don't build up the talent on the teams, so they're building up that young talent that they have and not giving up on it. Last year we didn't know who the number 1 receiver was. We thought it was Dobbs. We thought it was Watson. And then now we think it's Watson. We think Dobbs is one of the two. And then Reed says, "Hold my beer. I'm gonna have the 132 touchdown day." So they're not giving up on the talent, and they're all young, and anyone can leapfrog at any time, and someone can play second fiddle or someone can be the third option, and they don't care. They just go out there and do their jobs.
Yeah.
So I like what Green Bay is doing, moving on from Rodgers and betting on those guys. And it's showing that it works, even with the tight end.
And I got to finally give some credit to Matt LaFleur. Like,
yeah, me too. I really do.
I've been hard. I was hard on him before because I'm like, you ruined Aaron Rodgers' career. Pause. You were ruining Aaron Rodgers' career. I was just not. And because I was at that point, I was such an Aaron Rodgers supporter. Now he kind of rubs me the wrong way, man. I don't know. It's just some days, like during Hard Knocks, I liked him, and then after that, I was like, oh, God, you stop talking.
I've got no gripe with it. Just sit the year out, brother.
But anyway, I'm taking Jordan Love. Kyler Murray.
Give me Jordan Love all day, man. Get that out of here, man.
Okay, all right. We're consensus there. Last but not least, he just suffered a little injury on Monday Night Football. Trevor Lawrence or Jordan Love. I'll go first. I'm going Trevor Lawrence still. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? With Sunshine. I got to just have some faith in Sunshine. So I'm still going to rock with Sunshine. But out of all those quarterbacks, that's the only one that I'm clear-cut picking Trevor Lawrence over. Trevor Lawrence over Jordan Love. So just so y'all know. So.
That's so wild. I'm picking Jordan Love here, and I think they're very equal as far as talent goes and what their skill set brings. But like you were mentioning, something about Jordan Love, he's got that dog. I don't see that dog in Trevor. He's just so plain, vanilla. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be racist or anything.
CJ Stroud got that same thing.
Like there's just something about that dog, like he's got, Trevor Lawrence now has like Calvin Ridley. He has all these other weapons. And then Jordan Love's like, nah, I got my homies, bro. I got these guys that were all drafted with me, or you know what I mean? They're young with me. We're going to rise together. So just something about Jordan Love in that sense.
The light-skinned brothers are taking after Patrick Mahomes. That's what's happening. They united, but they had like a union. Like, look, we got to stick together. Caleb Williams about to be in that union pretty soon. Oh yeah, they'll be fine.
That was a hard one for me too. I kind of like what you just said there, Sammy. Is that I see more of a dog in Jordan Love than I do in Trevor Lawrence, and I think Trevor Lawrence is very, very talented. we're all like rooting for the Jaguars to finally like do something. But even when they're in the big game, they find a way to lose it against who did they just lose to?
The backup quarterback Cincinnati Bengals.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Jake Browning. Where did he go to school at, Sammy?
Looking like Joe Montana out there, bro.
Yeah.
Was it Washington or Washington State?
It was in the Pac-12 or the former Pac-12. So
formerly known as the Pac-12.
Yeah. I don't know. That one's tough. I want to lean more to Trevor Lawrence because I think he's had to go through the mud to get where he's at, to go through the Urban Meyer shit and that shit show to finally get the right person in there and Dougie P to put a winning formula there together. But I really like Jordan Love, man. I like his game and what they're doing. I'm throwing it's a dead even tie for me, man. I'm sorry. I can't pick one.
Bro, you gotta pick. Hey, you can't be doing this. Abstaining. Just pick one. Flip a coin.
Gun in my head. I'm taking Trevor Lawrence. It's a safer pick.
That's wow. Why? Because he's tall and white.
You said it, not me. So.
All right, cool. So clearly, we all feel pretty good about Jordan Love, though, right? Like.
Yeah, I like his trajectory. I think he's gonna be good.
So I was right. Cool. All right, moving on. You can get with this or you can get with that. The choice is yours, y'all. So the NFL had a lot of different storylines that came out from this weekend. Some big wins, some bad losses. First of all, before we do this, because I know we're gonna do our pick'ems. Who won the pick'ems this past weekend?
You just want to say your name. That's it.
I'm curious.
Boys still can't win a parlay though.
Okay. Hey, whoa. I'll say I've been getting some greens. Hey, the parlays are starting to hit now. I've been doing NBA, that's why. NFL is starting to get on my nerves though. But NBA, that's my jam. You know what I'm saying? That's my NBA jam. But yeah, out of those storylines, we're gonna start with the AFC with the Miami Dolphins. So you guys have a choice. They're currently sitting atop of the AFC. Who would have thought Week 13, we're gonna be, the Miami Dolphins would be at the top of the AFC. Well, here we are, right? It's a brave new world. Are they the best team in the AFC, or are they the most dangerous team in the AFC? I'll start with you, A-Rod.
They are the best team in the NFC just because of record, is what I'm saying for them.
That's not the question. Are they the best team in the AFC, or just the most dangerous? Because you could be the most dangerous and best are two completely different things. So you think they're just the best, but they're not.
I think they're just the best only because it reflects the record. That's all I'm saying. Like, are they the most dangerous team? I don't think so. I think when playoffs come, we're going to see a different Dolphins team. I just don't see. Remember,
what makes you say that? What makes you say that? Because if they get home field advantage, all these games are being played in Miami.
Remember last year in December, they didn't win a single game. They were sitting at the same record, 8-3 last year, and lost every game going to the playoffs. So they did just win a game, so they got to live up there.
Your schedule from here on out is pretty simple. So
yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, we just saw a backup quarterback beat Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, and they were supposed to be ranked any given Sunday, given a Monday night or Thursday night, maybe a Friday, something can happen. So I don't want to ever hear that shit.
So you're not buying the hype yet?
Huh?
You're not buying the hype yet?
Of the Dolphins? No, I think they're pretenders, man. They're fun. They are fun to watch. I will give them that. But I just don't think they have that I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it. They're definitely fun and exciting to watch. They're on Hard Knocks. They're cool. They're cool. You think Cleveland's cool? Like,
have you been watching the Hard Knocks like you watched Arizona last year?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
How has it been? I don't be watching.
It's pretty good. It's better than Arizona. Like Mike McDaniels, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
He's pretty fun. He looks like he's a little on the spectrum. I get what you're saying now, but he's definitely fun. You can feel that the players respect him because they see him as one of them, and yeah, exactly. He can command the locker room, and the players it's good. It's just good. Watch it. It's good.
All right.
Better than the Cardinals one. That was horrible. Oof.
Best team in the AFC, most dangerous team in the AFC.
I'm gonna say they're both. They're 100% both, especially after what I saw with the Chiefs and what I have been seeing with the Chiefs. Because before this, I would probably say the Chiefs, right?
Correct.
But there's a lot of question marks there. And I know we're gonna get to it in a bit, but yeah, the Miami Dolphins just prove week in and week out that they are them. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
they are the class of the AFC. They are the class of the NFL. Because if you think about it, you look at the most successful teams, they're all doing similarly to what the Miami Dolphins are doing, what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing, to what the San Francisco 49ers are doing, to what the Dallas Cowboys are doing, right? Like those are the four top teams in the whole NFL, and they're running very fast. They have talent on all ends of the spectrum. And yeah, I think the Dolphins, as far as the best team in AFC and the most dangerous, it's 100% them.
Now, I'm looking at the records because obviously they're at the top, but they're also tied with Baltimore, right? So Baltimore is also 9-3. So to me, how I have it, I have Baltimore as the best team in the AFC right now, but the most dangerous team is to me is the Dolphins, because that's not a team I want to see on a Sunday, because that's a lot to game plan for. Tyreek Hill is going to go over 2,000 yards this year. We just have to accept it and be comfortable with it, because he's made it a mission and he's going to accomplish it, right? So no matter what, for whatever reason, he finds himself getting single coverage every now and then. I'm like, what are you guys doing, right? So you got to account for that. You also have to account for Jalen Waddle's speed. You also got two running backs who are amazing back there. And, Tua, he doesn't do anything that's out of, extraordinary, but sometimes you got to be Tom Brady for the first half of his career. He wasn't trying to do nothing special. He was just, I know where to get the ball to, right? And then the special started to come when Randy Moss walked through that door. It was a whole other story. So Tua is just doing, it's like same thing with Brock Purdy, right? Like they're doing what they need to do to win the ball game and get the ball to the superstars, right? So, and that's what they're dangerous at, is that nobody's playing outside of their lane. And now you got Jalen Ramsey on defense, and he looks rejuvenated. He looks like he wants to play football again. They have a pretty good pass rush. So to me, any given Sunday, that's just the team I would least likely want to face. But to me, overall, Baltimore to me is just, on both sides of the football, they can beat you with defense, they can beat you passing the ball, they can beat you running the football. To me, just overall, I just like Baltimore a little bit more. But yeah, that's the team I would want to avoid at all costs.
I'm such a Ravens hater. I'm such a Ravens hater. And it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the quarterback play. It has everything to do with the fact they never give him any sort of like class A weapons on offense. That's just how I feel about it,
Yeah. And they don't care. It's the Ravens way. You know what I'm saying? All right, next one. We got some trouble. at the top of the AFC. Obviously, this weekend we talked about these two teams a little bit earlier. The Kansas City Chiefs taking a loss to the up-and-coming Green Bay Packers, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars somehow found a way to lose to Jake Browning on Monday Night Football. So two standalone games, and we watch Taylor Swift, and we watch Monday Night Football, right? So who is in more trouble or move right now, the Chiefs or the Jags? Sorry, you again, right?
Fuck. I would say the Jags, because Trevor Lawrence injury is going to be very detrimental to that.
It's a high ankle sprain. He hasn't been ruled out yet for the next game. Remember Patrick Mahomes had a high ankle sprain last year and he won the Super Bowl. So,
but he ain't Patrick Mahomes. Don't compare them men yet, okay? But Texas is also creeping up. So if he sits out a couple games, Texas is right there waiting to leapfrog. So,
and I don't think they can afford to not have him. So
yeah, what's the worst thing you want to do is rush him in and he gets seriously hurt. I'm going. I know there's a lot of issues going on with Kansas City, but the more and more I watch him, I just don't get why they don't use Rice more than they do. Like, he's home run hit. You drafted a good receiver that can easily be your Tyreek Hill type 1 guy to throw to, your wide receiver 1. But they try and get cute and get all these guys involved, like Watson.
Valdez-Scantling.
Valdez-Scantling is fine. His role is fine as a deep ball threat. He got hosed. he got hosed on a call the other day. He got definitely hosed on a call. But don't be in the media. Don't stick on one play that a guy loses it, because you saw how pissed off he was going into the tunnel
Oh
after.
no, he's my dog, man. Go Bulls.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying,
But they just got to do what they do and know how to play. They try and get cute and throw the ball all around the field and get all these guys involved. And it's like, if it's going good with one dude, if the game is feed Kelsey, just keep feeding Kelsey. That's how it is. And if Rice is getting busy, get the ball to Rice. Don't try and mix in a Watson and for some stupid touchdown. Like, nah, man. I think Kansas City is going to right the ship, because I remember last year, beginning of the year, we were saying, oh, they're starting off slow. Did they lose a step? And what did they do? They ended up winning the Super Bowl. So,
to me, last year they were hot at the end of the year, right? To me, they've just been teetering. Like they've been teetering, and Kelsey's just getting a little bit older. I think the injuries kind of stick around a little bit longer. When you get a little older, he's a little bit more distracted. Obviously, Taylor Swift is
you're right there.
An ecosystem. You know what I mean? She's an ecosystem. So I don't know. I'm moving on. Like looking at the Jags, I think overall the Jags will be fine, right? Obviously, they would love to get that game back against Cincinnati. They would love to have Trevor Lawrence be healthy to moving forward. But to me, I look at the Chiefs, and yeah, they got Patrick Mahomes, and that's gonna win you at least 8 games a year, no matter what. You have Patrick Mahomes to win 8-9 games a year. That's where he's worth to me. So, but then I look at the rest of that offensive unit, like defensively now, the Chiefs have absolutely stepped it up. Jordan Love made them look foolish, but they've stepped over. This season they've been one of the better defenses here. So defensively, they got the shit in order. Offensively, I don't know, man. Maybe they miss Eric Bieniemy. I don't know. I don't know, because they have guys, but they don't have Tyreek Hill, right? So they don't have the guy. They have a older Travis Kelce, who probably you drafted in the first round, and your fantasy team is probably not that good. I don't know, but I don't know. It's to me, they're just, when I watch them play now, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm literally relying on the defense for them to win games, and I don't believe in the weapons that they have outside of Rice and Pacheco, and Kelsey, obviously. But like, I don't know. There's something that's just
running back. They finally found the running back. I'll give them that.
Yeah, it's just something just feels a little off with that team right now.
I agree.
Yeah, but who's in more trouble? I don't know, man. Probably for me, it's probably the Jags. You're right. Just uncertainty at the quarterback. They haven't won it yet, so they don't even know what that feels like. The Chiefs obviously are a winning organization, so they know what it feels like. But I don't know, man. Something just don't feel too good to me about with the Chiefs. But what do you think of Sami?
I'm taking it from the other perspective, in that the Jags don't have a lot of pressure, right? Like, this is already kind of, in a sense, a winning season for them, right? Like, as far as an organization goes, I think there is more. Who's in more trouble is the Chiefs, right? Because they are looking anemic. They're not looking like the offense. They're not scaring anybody, and I think that's what you want. You want to go in to the playoffs not only getting hot, but at the same time scaring people. You want people to prepare against you properly, like you were talking about with the Miami Dolphins, and the Chiefs just don't look like it. And I think you nailed it on the head, man, with the Travis Kelce, like, distractions and the injuries, maybe just lingering a little bit longer. He just doesn't look the same. And if he's not the same, that offense just doesn't run the same.
Yeah, I mean, he's what makes the whole thing work, because you have to account for him now, and you don't have to put all that attention on him like you used to. It's like, okay, well, he's going to drop the ball. Kadarius Toney is going to do something stupid, and it's like this. It makes other defenses a little bit more confident in what they're doing, right? So, but yeah, I would, I agree with both of you guys. Obviously, like, Jags, presently with the injury, but with the Chiefs, is just, all right. Now we're gonna go into our teams.
No,
we all have bad weekends, so let's just get it out. This is a therapy session. This is what we're here for, is to let out our feelings. So, we're gonna start with you, Sami, in the New England Patriots. So, you guys allowed 46 points over the last 4 games. Over the last 4 games, you guys have allowed basically 11.5 points a game, right? And you're 0-4 in those 4 games. So, my question. I'm sorry, bro. It's crazy to me. Like we just gave up 40 something points to the 49ers, and y'all have given up 46 in 4 games and still haven't won a game. It's just bizarre to me. But is it as simple as a change of quarterback, or is it going to be something that needs to change upstairs?
Oh my god.
Show me a gun.
Yeah. So with your point about allowing 46 points in the last 4 games, I mean, look at who we played in the last 4 games. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, yes.
Hey, it's still the NFL, bro. You got to play them who you play. The Chargers score, bro.
It's like what the Giants, the Colts, the Chargers. Like, I mean,
the Colts
the defense too. The defense is something that I told you guys this year. I told you guys last year. It's something that Bill Belichick is his skill set. That is 100% his skill set. He can throw you or me or A-Rod on that defense and figure out a way to make it run, right? On offense, he's clueless. He has no fucking clue.
What about Vic?
No clue. Yeah, maybe put him on the D-line, you know what I mean? Like Booger McFarland, you know, occupy 2 blockers. But I think it is more than just draft a quarterback. Like I told you guys last week, I don't think it's simple as, let's say because it looks like we're locked into the number 2 pick. So, I mean, with the schedule, we might win one more game, right? We might beat the Jets, maybe.
Like, y'all are taking.
Yeah.
Like, when y'all missed that field goal against the Giants, I was like, they ain't trying to win no games.
And I wouldn't want. I mean, this is my ideal situation, right? Draft Caleb Williams. Free agency's first, though, right? You get free agency first. Maybe find a tackle somewhere. See if you can grab Baker Mayfield. Draft Caleb Williams. And then we middle, right? We middle the whole way. See if we can maybe get some. I don't even trust him to get a wide receiver. Like, I don't trust him to draft one. So, again, I don't want to get a quarterback
Marvin
and put him.
Jr.'s there.
Yeah. And he's not going to be
Let's trade down.
Yeah. I don't think it's as simple as just drafting a quarterback. And I don't want to get rid of Bill Belichick because that would make me a hypocrite when I'm talking about how well he drafts defense and how he can put a defense out there. Like, I mean, we held Philadelphia. We were in that game against Philadelphia because of our defense too. You know what I mean? So,
like, that defense weeks ago, brother.
I'm just saying. In general, but in general, if you look at it, like that defense is pretty good. They're probably a top 12 defense, top 13 defense, right? And that's not even saying that they're on the field for. I want to look at that. Like, I want to see how good the defense is and then how long they're on the field for, because it's got to be pretty good. But regardless, I think it's more than that. I don't think it's get rid of Bill Belichick, but we need him to just focus on coaching. I think we need to get rid of him as a GM. 100%, he needs to be hands off. We need a new offensive-minded guy. The NFL is evolving. We're not playing 1975 football with like leather helmets and just running the ball. Like, that's what we look like.
A long time ago. But now, all right. So if you had a choice, right? If you had a choice between Caleb Williams being drafted or Bill Belichick losing his job, which way would you go? Ooh, I struck a nerve.
If I could keep Bill Belichick and get Michael Penix, I'll take that route.
That's a good cop out. That's a good cop out. All right, Jets, A-Rod.
Why do we do this every week? Why do we even a topic?
It's called therapy, man. This is what we here for, bro. Like, I'm a licensed professional, all right, in sports podcast therapy. Anyway, so Zach Wilson, and this is a conversation I would like to join you in this conversation. So, obviously, it's not been the season that the Jets want. From the fourth snap of Monday Night Football against the Bills, it's been a whirlwind, right? So lately, Zach Wilson to me has been the scapegoat for a lot of different things, and most recent the news got leaked. I don't know what's real and what's not because everybody is a source, right? But he was apprehensive to get back into playing, being the number one quarterback again, and blase, right? So is that fair or foul? And I want to just look at it from the whole picture, just kind of just where we're at in the year. I mean, what side of the coin are you landing on with that whole situation?
Hold on a second. Um, I can see both sides to this, to be honest with you. Um, as far as Zach, I think he's matured a lot this year, but I still think he's very immature. Uh, but I also can see like why he doesn't want to take the reins at the same time, because playing in New York is tough. It's tough to play in this city, and knowing that we had the so-called savior, 4 plays later was out for the year, to go back to Zach Wilson, and we didn't know we were going to get. If anything, I can say I'm proud of Zach Wilson for being a little more mature, but being more mature comes with, you have to understand the team you play for and be mentally tough for this as well. And there's a lot of stuff that's got to go on with this. And I just see as Zach Wilson, I don't care if it's Tim Boyle. It can't be any worse. I know he doesn't have a job anymore. They got rid of him. I don't know why he was on the active roster, period. But now bring Brett Repien or whatever his name is. Trevor Simeon. I don't care if it's any of those guys throwing the ball. They're all the same talent level to me. I know Zach's got the youth, and Zach has been here longer, so Zach should be the clear-cut favorite. But if you ain't winning games, you got to find a way to do it. And we can point the finger at Hackett. I got one more year on Hackett. I really got one more year on Hackett.
Still got time left for Hackett. Like at this point, it should be a moot point that he is not he's not good. Like Aaron Rodgers brought his boy over, and I'm sick of this whole thing because they keep wanting to blame Zach Wilson for everything, every single thing. Like if the weather is bad on Sunday, they're gonna blame Zach Wilson for that. Like I'm getting sick and tired of this.
But the thing is, Zach Wilson does deserve the blame. However,
what blame?
Because he's the one making the throws, bro. Do you see him make the throws? Do
you see the calls, or the plays that are being called?
It's still, bro. There's plays that I see him that he scrambles out, moves right, and all he's got to do is 5 yards, and he can't even hit him. Dude, it's a combination. It's not a one-way street here. I'm sorry. It's combination. It is a combination of this, bro. I'm sorry, Zach Wilson. I don't care if you brought in Kellen Moore. I don't care if you brought in the greatest offensive coordinator in the world to call this the playbook for the Jets. Zach Wilson just ain't it, man.
No, I think a competent play caller would get him back on his feet again, because to me, Nathaniel Hackett is horrible. He literally made Russell Wilson look like, why is he in the league anymore? Like, it was that bad with Russell Wilson. That bad. And that was literally just a year ago. Sean Payton comes and all of a sudden Houdini, he's got his powers back. So Nathaniel Hackett has not proven anything. Alan Lazard has been trash. Aaron Rodgers.
But that's also the play calling too. And if we want to say Alan Lazard is trash, like
he's been, like, they don't even want him on the field. They benched him on that Black Friday. They didn't even want him to play that game. I don't even know if he's played since then. Like.
KK, I do think you're onto something when you're referring to all these players / people that Aaron Rodgers brought. Like, when you listen to a player to do all these different coordinating on your franchise, like, that shit rarely works. You know what I mean? Like, it.
But you heard LeBron James and Anthony Davis begged for Russell Westbrook, and we saw what the hell happened over there. Like, at some point, you have to take control of the organization and do what you got to do.
But here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers didn't bring Nathaniel Hackett. We signed him first and hoping to get Aaron Rodgers.
Why did you think they signed him? That's what the Broncos did. They signed him to go get Aaron Rodgers. But at the same time, but it worked. And they're going to give him one more year. And here's my problem. Because
my problem is we're wasting Saleh's time. That's what I see, is we're wasting Saleh's time. Because he's a great
player next year. I don't think so, bro. They're gonna fire him.
I don't think so. If
they're gonna blame, because this whole Zach Wilson, no matter what, is gonna get blamed for things. But Saleh, they're gonna say, Saleh, you should have controlled that situation a little bit better. Because
from what I'm seeing, the way that they keep shifting this around is because the players keep saying, we don't believe in this. We need to try something else. So he switches it out. And for when I'm reading from the beat writers, still, and I'm still up to date with it, everyone in the coaching tree at the moment is fine. Everybody is fine at the moment. Worry about your fucking team, because I've been dealing with
concerned about Brandon Staley. You're so concerned about Brandon Staley still having a job. Nathaniel Hackett does not deserve to have a
Bro, I don't care. I really
facts.
don't. I really don't care if Nathaniel Hackett's there. I'm just telling you what I know
got
how I feel. I don't give a fuck if Mickey Mouse was out there with gloves on saying, "Oh, throw the ball to this guy." I wouldn't give a shit.
That's probably what it is right now.
Fuck.
Because
I wouldn't give a fuck because
how much more successful can Aaron Rodgers be in his offense if he can't get protection either? There's a reason why he tore his Achilles. You know what I mean?
This whole year is just a wash to me. It's a complete wash. It is. And I'll look forward to next year. I'm going to come with the same energy I came last year. I'm going to come with the same energy I had last year. But the defense does its job day in and day out. I looked at the gradings that they gave for the defense, and of the top 5 categories, they're like 2 or 3 in 3 of those categories, which is insane. And the fact that they can't fucking win, like they got to rely on the offense to score something, it's insane.
Hey.
And the Patriots are pretty good too.
Hey, Rod, remember the commentator? And the Jets defense does its job again.
Yeah.
And so ultimately,
not a lot of highlights here to show because it's probably going to end soon. So
ultimately, for you, A-Rod, do you think it's fair or foul for him being apprehensive to come back into the game, or just come back and play again?
Who?
Zach.
I think he should come back and play. I really think he should. I don't think anything's wrong with it. I think he's the better option of the 3. They're all dumb. I mean, what are we going to do? Get a new guy each week and just throw him in there? Like, Tim Boyle should not have been on the roster.
That's my problem. Because if I'm Zach Wilson, you benched me last year. You brought in Mike White. You got Joe Flacco. Cool, whatever. I came back for y'all, right? I came back because I wanted to show that I'm mature. Because he has, from that episode of Hard Knocks.
And I got a rebuttal right to this when you're done. Keep going.
On that episode of Hard Knocks, so now I've been a fan of him because I'm like, he really has changed a little bit. Like, from what I heard at that press conference last year to what I've seen now, it's a lot better of a human being, right? Okay, if I'm now being Zach Wilson again. Okay, you brought in Aaron Rodgers, cool. I understand. I'll learn from the guy. I'm here. I'm with you guys, right? The dude gets hurt, obviously, and then you guys throw me back into the fire. Clearly, I'm not ready. Because I wasn't even planning on being ready this year. I'm trying to revamp my game. So I'm going to take some time to get to where I need to get to. And we saw him progress every week. The moment that it gets a little gloomy again, they don't bring Tim Boyle. Have you seen his collegiate stats? Have you seen his NFL? Like, he is horrible. If I'm Zach Wilson, I'm like, y'all going to bench me for him? And then they going to get Trevor Siemian. They're going to get Bradley Rippey. What? They keep trying to find different options. Maybe we should go get Dobbs. Damn, I wish we would have got, like, at some point, if I'm Zach Wilson, I'm like, you know what? What the hell? Like, I'm trying to be loyal to you guys, and you guys keep trying to just put it all on me. And you already know I'm a young kid. I got to deal with this New York media.
Pause.
I already got to deal with this bullshit, and now I got to deal with it in my own organization. Why would I want to come back and play for you guys? Like, what the hell am I doing?
Who the fuck is Zach Wilson to make those demands? Is what I got to tell you.
Demands.
It's a business.
You had 5 different quarterbacks start over him in the last year and a half.
It's a business. And Zach Wilson doesn't have a 5th-year option, so he needs to play. And if they say, "Hey, man, sorry, we've been shuffling around, but you're the right answer," you need to get your ass in there and play to show what you got to say.
I'm about to pull a Ben Simmons. My back hurt, bro. Like,
pull that card. Pull that card. I hope his ACL tear.
You throw me back into the field. This offensive line can't do shit for me. I only have Garrett Wilson, and that's it. Like, we have a beast at a running back.
I hope it's on the Eagles. I hope it's the Eagles in the
offense. I have a beast at running back, and I don't run the football.
Can we move?
Please. Yes, because I don't want to talk about this team. I hope Zach Wilson goes to the Eagles, bro. I really do. And you can go through that headache if something happens to Hurts. But it ain't the answer. I'm telling you. Let's switch to the Eagles.
All right, so we got blown out by the 49ers. Cool, whatever. Now, I was going to ask, is this show that the 49ers – is it a problem that – is the 49ers just that dominant, or do we have issues? But then I started looking at it from a whole because we have the Cowboys this weekend. So we got Brock Purdy, we got Dak Prescott, we got Jalen Hurts, right? So we see what Brock Purdy's doing with the 49ers. And we're seeing what Dak is doing with the Cowboys. So obviously, if we lose again this weekend, it's gonna start looking. It's going the Stephen A. Smith's gonna say some crazy shit, and David Carr is gonna say we should start Mariota or some shit like that. Like this is the shit that we got to deal with after one loss. After we've been winning, we're 10-2, and the world's coming to an end, right? Like I get it. The 49ers had a good game. They fought with our security guard, whatever. So, who has a better MVP case right now between Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, and Jalen Hurts? I'll start with you, Sammy.
Thank you.
I think it's Brock Purdy, and I think it's only because of what Deebo Samuel said last year. We would have won if we had Brock Purdy. And what did they do?
They wouldn't have won.
They won with Brock Purdy.
They wouldn't have won.
I'm just going based on what was said.
And they happen to win a game.
And a comment on the game.
They happen to win a game in early December. Come see us again in January. They wouldn't have won.
The comment on the game is the Niners needed that game more than the Eagles did. And the Niners came to show up. I'm not going to say the Eagles gave it up, but they definitely didn't need that game as much. So, yes, I agree with you. But I think right now, if you're looking at the case, I think Brock Purdy.
Hey, Rod.
I'm going Dak. I think Dak is the guy that his numbers just are off the charts this year. They look good. And every time we try to count him out or say, oh, Dak's going to Dak, he's thrown for 300 yards, won games. I'm going more to Dak. What Purdy's doing is impressive, and Jalen Hurts is having an impressive year too. But at the moment, I'm going with Dak.
And then before I give you my pick, was that a bad loss for the Eagles or a good win for the 49ers in your opinion?
Good win for the 49ers. That's what I said last week. Let them have their Super Bowl. Because what do we say every year? It's hard to beat a team twice. So if you go to the NFC Championship, my money's on the Eagles every time. So.
And my pick is Tyreek Hill, MVP.
Can I give you some stats?
Yeah.
So it's actually really interesting. So you look at Dak Prescott, he's completed 70% of his passes for 3,200 yards, 7.9 yards per attempt, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You look at Brock Purdy, 3,185 yards, 9.6 yards per attempt, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So pretty damn close, to be honest. Pretty damn close.
So if they swap spots, whose team will be better?
Probably the Niners.
Yeah, probably. All right. Hey, Rod. Let's get to these NFL scores that we had last week. Obviously, I know I won. So, where are we at? Where are we at in the standings right now? And do we have Vic's picks?
Yeah, we have Vic's picks.
I bet. All right.
At now, you're up 6. I'm at 5. Vic's at 3. Sammy's at 3.
Okay. All right. Cool.
On the week. On the year.
Sammy, what we working with this week? Your microphone.
Sorry. Yep. Week 14 key matchup. So first game we got on the docket, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Baltimore Ravens. We got the Rams are minus 7.5 point favorites, and the over under is 40.5.
I'll go. I wish Vic was here so we could do a little bit of spread.
TV.
Did he do it with the spread and everything, or did he just pick straight up
money
line? So I got the Ravens winning the game, and then that minus 7.5. I don't know what the cash is saying. I don't know what the tickets are saying. But
if you want me to go, I can tell you. I got it right here.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
Gotta do it like all Vic, right. Though. Okay, the Sharks.
Yeah, I need you to run it like a game show host.
Okay, so they got 75% of the cash is going to LA, while 77% of the tickets are going to Baltimore, and that is only on the 7-point spread. However, when you look at it on the other side, 59% of the cash and 78% of the tickets, or 59% of the cash are going to the Rams, while 78% of the tickets are going for the Ravens. So still a slight edge in cash. So the Sharps look like they are leaning a little bit more to the Rams on both the spread as well as the money line. So.
Okay, I'll listen to the Sharks on that aspect. Straight up though, I got the Ravens winning, but I think the Rams will cover. I think the Rams will cover. But what you got? Hey, Rod.
I need my restitution. That's what I need. I'm going with
my restitution.
I'm going with the Ravens, bro.
Sammy?
I'm going with the Sharks, man. Give me the Rams, man.
Woo! Ooh.
I
At
want
the
the cash.
Ravens?
Give me the cash.
From
Give me the cash, baby.
the West Coast?
Give me the cash.
All
Man,
right.
this man will do whatever he can to come back and win the whole
Hey,
year.
give me
That's what he's
cash.
doing.
Hey, I got you, man. You gotta do what you gotta do,
It's a
man.
lot of cash.
All right.
He wants his
All right.
restitution.
All right.
He wants to
So
next game.
I'll go from start to finish then. How about that? I'll put it out and then I'll give you the little green line that's going on in the NFL. So we got the Colts at the Bengals. The Colts are minus a half. Is that a half point? That's a half point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me look it up. 1 second.
Wow.
Unless it's
Cincinnati-
shifted.
No, it's 1 point now. It went up to 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
fine.
Colts at Bengals. The Colts are favored by 1 point. The over under is 39.5. So you're looking at 69% of the cash and 58% of the tickets are taking Cincinnati on that +1, and 54% of the cash is going towards Cincy, while 71% of the tickets are going to the Colts. So I'm going to take the Bengals here.
I'm taking the Colts. I think we saw a real good game from Browning on Monday, but the Cinderella story gonna have to. I don't know about that glass slipper though. I'm going with the Colts, man. I like what Gardner Minshew is doing this year, so I'm going with the Colts.
All right, so Vic had Baltimore on the last one. I forgot to say he's got his darling Cincinnati Bengals on this one. Man, I'll tell you what, Kay. I always go for Indianapolis. I always say they're my dark horse, but they always, shit on me at the end. But Michael Pittman's so consistent, man. Like even without the quarterback there,
You were right about him.
told you.
That USC receiver, you were right about.
Yeah, he's a good receiver. But I like Cincinnati better. I think Jake Browning can do the job from what I saw. I know it was like a one flash in the pan game, but I just like the receiving core better. And if not, you can rely on Mixon to run the ball. So I'm gonna go Cincy here. Plus it's in Cincinnati too. So
Oh me shit. All right, I know who's playing.
be the lone wolf.
Lone Wolf, I like it. That's why I'm about to be at 7 next week. Oh. All right, what we got next?
All right, so we got the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. You got the Chiefs at 2.5. The over/under is actually no, it's now Chiefs at 1.5. The over/under is 48.5. So you have 69% of the tickets are going to the Chiefs, while 69% of the cash is going towards the Chiefs, while 54% of the tickets are going to Buffalo for the 1.5 point spread, and 61% of the cash is going towards Kansas City, while 66% of the tickets are going to Buffalo on the money line. So I think I'm going to stick with the cash here, and I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs.
I as well will be going with the Kansas City Chiefs. Sunday Night Football, that they did not expect to lose that game. So unfortunately for Josh Allen, they're going to have to take out their anger on him. So give me the Chiefs.
Vic has Buffalo going here, so I guess he's going to be the lone wolf in this category, and I'm going Kansas City too. I got more faith in Kansas City than I do Buffalo.
Because I was actually just going to say that the fact that 66% of the tickets are going Buffalo's way is actually pretty intriguing. So I see where Vic's going with that.
I agree. I just can't see. Like I know Andy Reid. I just got too much faith in Andy Reid to obviously we know they're struggling, right? We talked about it earlier, but I feel like Andy Reid will make the necessary adjustment he needs to make. Maybe he feeds Rice. Maybe I don't know. So yeah, I'll go with the Chiefs though.
All right. So the fourth game, we have the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. You have the Chargers favorite by 2.5, and you have the over/under at 44. So we have. Oh wow, this is interesting. So you got 95% of the cash and 93% of the tickets going to Denver on the -2.5, and you have 80% of the tickets going to Denver. They don't have a number there for the cash, so that means probably the same amount of cash or 100% of the cash is going to Denver's way. So that's crazy. Nobody trusts.
I agree with the public. Yeah, I'm going with the Broncos.
Yeah, give me the Broncos.
I'm going with the Broncos.
Sammy, you said Broncos?
Yeah, Broncos. I'm going Broncos.
All right.
Russ
I'll be the lone wolf here. I'm going Chargers.
Oh, but you like Jordan Love over Justin Herbert? Come on now.
Because Brandon Staley's going to keep his job regardless, so I'm going
I got Sean Payton versus Brandon Staley. I'm going. I'm going Sean Payton. Dog. I'm going Sean Payton.
Yeah, me too. But I'm going Chargers here. I want to
Okay,
be the
so
lone.
I'm laughing at this right now, KK. Not because you picked it, but because if you listen to Bill Simmons' podcast, he always talks about how why does anybody bet on the NFC South games, and you have this up here for
I
us.
literally did that one on purpose because I was like, you know what? Let's have a laugher because the NFC South has been the darling.
The folk noodle fight.
They're so cute. You know what I'm saying? Lately, they've been so adorable lately. The Bucks
It's like
struggle
that
to even beat
meme.
the
It's like the
Panthers.
meme with the three dragons, right? They're all mean looking.
Oh,
then
and
you
they
got
look all weak.
yeah, the goofy looking one. All right,
Yeah,
so this
so-
week you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are favored by one and a
Big
half,
game.
and the over/under is 39.5. That's wild. All right, so you have 80% of the tickets going to Atlanta's way, and 51% of, or 87% of the cash is going to Atlanta, while 51% of the tickets are going to Tampa. And then you have 96% of the cash going to Atlanta and 63% of the tickets going to Tampa. So I'm going to take the Falcons here.
I really want to take the Bucks because I feel bad, but Bijan Robinson, the last time he played against the Bucks, he was on the sideline, and I was at the game, and he pissed me off. I feel like he owes me one this week because this is I'm in a win or go home situation in my fantasy league for work, and I need Bijan to do some shit for me. So
Here's a little hint.
I'm going
too.
with Bijan.
Here's a little hint too. Just for some tidbits for you guys who like to gamble or put a little. Oh yeah, you can gamble now here. So 97% of the cash is going for the over.
Oh yeah, I agree. I thought that was a little 39.5. They tripping. I'm gonna smash that over. For
That's
sure.
my lock, to be honest.
That's my lot for real. I'm smashing that over. What you got, A-Rod?
So Vic had Denver on the last one. He's got the Bucks on this one. We're gonna let him be the lone wolf again. I'm going Atlanta. I agree with you about Bijan Robinson not playing last time because he had the sniffles. So
Bro, he owed me one, bro. I'm gonna call him on the phone. I don't know. I gotta get a hold of him. Like, bro, I need you this weekend. I need you.
all right, we're locked in.
All right. Finally, we get to talk about the NBA. I feel like we've been kind of grazing at it every other week. Like we haven't really been able to go balls deep, in the NBA.
I think because we got so much shit going on in college football and the NFL. You know what I mean?
lot.
Like
It's a lot. So we're gonna have an open forum right now. Success, right? There's a lot of success going on in the NBA, and that's with the NBA tournament. So we talked about it a few weeks ago, like, yo, what the hell is the point of this bullshit, right? Dog, these boys come to play during the tournament, dog, $500,000, and they're like, we just want to compete. And I'm like, I see, bro. Like Tyrese Halliburton, sorry about that, Boston, but Tyrese
that's my
Halliburton,
dog, man. That's my dog.
Tyrese Halliburton is for real.
That's
dog.
my dog.
So we're seeing.
Roll back the tape. Roll back the tape.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my
I know,
dog.
I know. We got what
Dance.
what I'm really impressed with is that I think this tournament is good for young players because there are teams that Indiana, Sacramento's, the Pelicans, they're not gonna probably win the NBA championship, right? Like, let's be honest. We got Boston, Milwaukee in the East. We got Denver in the West. So it's like there's not many teams that have a realistic shot at winning the championship. But I feel like this tournament right here, you got these young teams with a good following, with a good base, with a good crowd, and these players are trying to show out because they're I mean, especially now they're like standalone games. Like I was looking to gamble on some games the last couple of days, and there's only one game being played or two games being played. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So even on Sunday, there was no games on Sunday. Like it was like the Super Bowl. I was kind of annoyed. Like, what the hell's going on? So I'm just really happy to see because typically we wait till about Christmas time for us to really start caring about basketball. Adam Silver got these people caring about basketball by Thanksgiving, so he did it. He did it, bro. And he's got to thank Europe for soccer, but he found a random tournament for people to get hyped for, and they've been delivering on all aspects. But to me, they knocked it out the park. I think they're gonna make some tweaks to it like next year, because obviously, I feel like there's some things they can fix, but no, they got it, bro. Adam Silver got to give himself a pat on the back for that one. So What do you think about the tourney, Sammy?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the first things that I noticed was when I believe it was the Celtics and the Magic were vying for a spot, and you saw the Celtics had seen a matchup that ended in a previous game that affected where they were ranked, and then started
Yeah,
playing like hack a Shack on I forgot who it
yeah,
was,
yeah,
so they could send it to the free throw line so they can ice the game. And I was like, bro, it's November. What do you
yeah,
what are we doing this for?
yeah,
So yeah, it was when I immediately saw that, I was like, damn, these guys are really engaged. These guys really really want to play this. And like you said, we got to give a lot of kudos to Adam Silver for putting something like this together to get us talking about the NBA in November, the NBA before December, or even the NBA before like January, February. You know what I mean? But I think the one thing that you talking about tweaks, the one tweak that I had off the top of my head was we should have that not happen where, in a sense, they do it like soccer, where that last game is all played at the same time.
at the same
So
exact time.
nobody
Absolutely,
knows where they're going to be ranked.
absolutely,
Nobody knows
absolutely,
anything.
yeah,
That's the only tweak I think off the top of my head that I would make. But other than that, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton did his thing. And I agree with you that it does give a lot of these younger teams an opportunity to compete for something. Give them a little more, dog in the fight. You know what I mean? Rather than just be kind of just chilling the whole season and stuff like that. And I do love that this, unlike soccer, which I've had a huge gripe with a lot of these leagues and cups that they keep fucking adding to soccer. What Adam
yeah,
Silver did was he kept it within the same number of games. So
yeah.
that's so important to me. Like, I don't want to see players getting injured because of some bullshit fucking tournament
Yeah.
or this and that. I want them to compete. I want them to have a little bit more to compete for, but don't give them more games, man. Like, look at the NFL, bro. I promise you, I think it's partially that because of adding all these extra games and all this shit that all these guys are getting hurt. You're just stacking extra games on top of each other year after year. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Sticking on the NBA, I think it was a success. I love it. I love that the guys are competing, and yeah, I can't wait to see what happens in the semifinals and all that stuff.
Hey, Rod, has there been any like teams or players that you've probably like grown like a wow for over the last during this whole tournament run outside of Tyrese Halliburton?
I was gonna say Tyrese Halliburton's definitely
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah,
You have to. He's turning heads. I mean, no, not really.
okay,
It's
okay,
it's good to see like Anthony Edwards' growth in this time period because we haven't seen it in there, but obviously the Wolves aren't in it. It's the Pacers in Milwaukee and the Lakers and New Orleans. I just think it's how the chips fall, who's in your bracket, and who comes to play that day, who decides
yeah.
to take a rest day, because we know the NBA is a bunch of softies out there at the same time too.
There's
So
been a lot less rest days this year. Like Adam Silver, he's figured some shit out. Though. Like
he,
I feel
he
like
is.
we're seeing a lot more of like
You know what it is?
why hasn't missed a game. I don't think he has.
You know what it is? He's wearing Skims. That's why he's wearing them Skims. He feels a certain type of way. Um, I'll be honest. The in-season tournament really hasn't done it. I've watched it, but it hasn't gotten me like as hype as it should. If anything, I know another crazy thing is like the Lakers. The NBA is asking them to change their gold uniform to the one
No,
that they wore.
from black to gold.
Yeah, black to go because people with like issues with the colors and stuff that are colorblind and stuff. So that's crazy.
I
I
thought I
mean,
have to do with the court because all right, we watched the game. You watched the game last night, LA
yeah,
versus Phoenix. First of
yeah.
all, the call at the end of the game, obviously, it was a missed call, right? But the amount of calls that LeBron gets, they miss calls on LeBron all the time. To me, like they owed him one. So
I
at the
mean,
end of the day, I don't think one call
I'm really
is
not
going to
against that
cost
at
the
the
team
same
the game.
time. Yeah, I'm really not against that. At the same time, like there was a lot of missed calls in that game. Not just that one at the end was very detrimental, but it is what it is. It's like that's why I like the way NFL officiating is because it happens. It's a regular game. It's not like a final game. One game throughout the year. Like just be better. But it just goes back to why I can't stand Devin Booker because he's so petty and post shit on his story and it's just like and he posts a clip of it and it's just something about it.
I'm with you now. I'm Devin Book. I'm out on him, bro. He's
There's
just he
there's
knows the shit out of me. Dog. He
he,
cries so much for me.
Kid's a baller. He's a baller. Don't get me wrong. He's just soft. But the tournament in a whole, To me, it's a money grab. The way I view it is just a money grab because if you look at it, all the home jerseys wear their city edition jersey the game. The court is done. So it's a money grab for you to go buy that jersey if you're a fan. You're like, oh shit, I don't have that jersey. I got to go get it now. Exactly. I don't know. It is a success. I'm not deterring anything from it, but what are we winning at this? Like what's the outcome? You win the in-season tournament
and you get $500,000 a player.
What did they do? Wipe their ass with that?
Bro, there are players on that team who sit at the edge of the bench who like a Max Christie or some shit like that from the Lakers. Like their salary is probably just a little bit more than that. So
I agree.
That $500,000, it means something to a lot more of these players than just than the top.
Yeah.
LeBron
grabbing you by your money, A-Rod.
Yeah, no, I just think it's kind of goofy in a way because like it's fun to experiment with. Let's see how it goes for a few years, and I can be on board with it.
But you don't have a problem with it in soccer.
No, because I'm used to it in soccer. That's why
what they're trying to establish something.
I know, but like stick to what you know. Stick to what you know and do what you do. Just get the Clippers to stop load management. That's all you got to do. That's if you want me to watch the NBA religiously, just put Kawhi and Paul George on the court and stop.
There's zero detriment to having this other than maybe a little bit more competitive games in December. That's it.
And that's what he wants because at the end of the day, the November, December NFL is king. Like if there's nothing they can do about it.
I can get on board with that. I can get on board with it because we always say like the NBA wakes up after the new year all the time. Yeah. Like during Christmas Day is when motherfuckers wake up and like, okay, now it's time to play. So now you got something to play. Okay, I can get behind that. I'm okay with that. But it's still fresh to me. I look at it all as a money grab, and it's just like, ooh, the court's different. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
That
is
dumb. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah. I don't like it. I think that's a little bit overkill for me.
Like AAU childish shit.
Right?
Yeah. It's like color rush type of thing. Could you imagine if they were
worse?
The red like if Philly was in a red floor like New Jersey and like everyone the colorblind people be like,
the color rush era of the NFL was such a bad time.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
I love Oregon, but I sometimes hate their basketball court, and that's what all of these courts remind me of.
Yeah, it looks like
their basketball court is dope. This is just like solid color, but the one with the trees is dope. But I'm not opposed to it. If I can say anything, I'm not opposed to it. It has been a success, which is good because they've gotten me to watch it. I've been watching it. And I'm like, shit, the Nuggets got knocked out. Fuck, Boston got knocked out. The Knicks got knocked out. Like, I'm invested in it. And then we're in a good place because we're seeing like the future versus the favorite is what we're seeing. Yeah. It's good. We're seeing a budding star in Tyrese Halliburton, and we're seeing the powerhouse Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. I just want all the listeners and the viewers to know you heard it here first about Tyrese Halliburton. Just letting you know.
Okay. Yeah. We on top of that.
We've been high. I remember when we talked about the trade before we merged.
Even when the trade happened, we talked about that shit.
Fucked up. Trust me. And I know I say De'Aaron Fox, but I got love for Halliburton. I really do. I think he's a baller. It's just you just can't throw Jalen Brunson. If you threw anybody else in there, I'm telling you, I probably would have tagged or maybe even contemplated, paying Halliburton. He's good. He just the Pacers got to give him a little bit more. But yeah, I love the tournament. I'm good with it. And I'm good to see where it goes, and I'm on board with it. Let's keep going and make me want to see more of it.
Get rid of the courts though. Get rid of the courts,
yeah. And like think about it. Normally,
but next year it's going to be a different scheme. They're going to do. They're going to do something different next year. So
what they need to do next year is fix the All-Star game. Like to me, that's the next step is make the All-Star game mean something. Because think about it, players don't want to play if it doesn't mean shit, right? We saw Tuesday night in December before Christmas, KD versus LeBron James, and it was like, oh my God, it's KD versus LeBron. Like they were doing montages all day long up until that point about their history. So you're getting people excited for a Tuesday basketball game, against 39-year-old LeBron and 35-year-old KD, and it lived up to the hype. Like when else is LeBron James playing 40 minutes? just because on a Tuesday. Like, no, that's probably a night he'll probably take off. Like, yeah,
But
I'm
I,
gonna sit
I
this
think
one
I
out.
think it comes down to maturity and the youth. If the youth outperforms, of course they're going to want to play in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
If Anthony Edwards gets a chance to start in an All-Star game, he's definitely going to start. But
I
like,
don't know because the it's feel like think about it over the years because back in our childhood it was competitive as shit, right?
oh, it was. But we could also Charles Barkley could go out there and throw a fucking punch at Patrick Ewing and just be called with a fucking regular foul.
But
Two
it's,
free throws,
it's
sir.
become the All Star game itself, like the Pro Bowl, it's become more watered down, more watered down, more watered down, and now it just became like an event. Now it feels like it's just like an exhibition event, like
about
Harlem Globetrotters.
Can I be honest with you about something? I think I'm more excited for the celebrity game than I'm more excited for the All-Star.
So am I. I'm always more excited about the celebrity game. Always more excited for the celebrity game. But they really try to win that shit, like for real.
The problem with the All-Star game though is like there's nobody else who can do a dunk contest anymore. Like Matt McClung revived it for a bit, but
where is he at now? He was the most famous guy in America for one day, for 1 week. Where the hell is he at now? but no, I think that, like we were saying, like the tournament to me is just it gives us a reason to watch basketball before we actually have to start watching basketball as the NFL season kind of winds down. So, and then another thing I wanted to talk about, we didn't get to talk about it last week. Look at the standings, and I check the standings every now and then to just try to see where everything is at. And the shit that keeps surprising me, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Orlando Magic, and the OKC Thunder are having phenomenal seasons. Like, phenomenal. Like, they already, to me, the trajectories that they were on, they kind of already passed where they should be. Maybe Minnesota's kind of where they need to be at by now with Cat all these years, but Orlando and OKC, they've shot out of a cannon, right? So, out of those three teams, who's been, the most impressive to you, kind of just where they're at with everything? You go ahead, Sammy.
To be honest, I've been an Orlando Magic stan last year, this year.
Yeah.
They're one of my teams that I'm always like, keep an eye out for them, just because I like what they were building.
We talked about that last year too.
Yeah. So the most impressive for me, just because it's a little bit more surprising, is probably the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it's not because of Anthony Edwards. Always been an Anthony Edwards fan. I just think it's the shift in the attitude towards Rudy Gobert, and I think if you look at his statistics right now, he's sitting pretty right now. His plus minus is sitting at about a 5 right now. So he's been pretty effective, surprising me. I know there was like a downtime for him over the last couple of years, but this year he's proven himself. Karl Anthony Towns is playing a little bit more games, playing better. I think, to me it's the T-Wolves.
Hey, Rod.
Same thing, T-Wolves. You look at that roster, like there ain't shit on it outside of the starting five. Like the starting five is it, and everybody else is just like name a random guy, and they're all playing well.
4, jeez.
So
they've lost 4 games. That's it.
Yeah, that's really good. And you hit the nail on the head like 10 episodes ago when we were talking about Team USA and Anthony Edwards coming back. When the player comes back from the USA from playing a game like that, they always have a chip on their shoulder. And I think Anthony Edwards got what he needed. I think being in the spotlight of Ja Morant for so long and us adoring and praising Ja Morant only for him to fail us, with showing a gun, not one, but times on social media, like it told him like, you know what? I'm more marketable. No, I'm serious. And I don't mean this as a joke. I'm more marketable than this guy. I'm more funny. I'm more fun. And if you haven't noticed, he's been going on his social media marketing campaign. His commercial is gold for Adidas. His Adidas commercial is gold. His shoe actually looks kind of good. He's begging KD, who is a Nike fucking employee, to wear his shoes. It's not going to happen. He's doing.
He got people mad, bro. LeBron posted a whole slideshow of people in Nike. I was like, damn, bro. What
he's got videos with Funny Marco. Like he's doing stuff to be for us to capture his. He's smart. Whoever his head marketing guy is for himself is very smart, and I think that's just letting him having the ability to have fun. So getting out of the shadow of Ja, I think with Orlando and with OKC, we've been expecting this every year. We're like, this is the year they do it. This is the year they do it. This is the year they do it. And they go out and draft. Who cares this year? They didn't draft anybody that I thought was going to shift the pendulum for them, like Anthony Black. I didn't think he was going to do anything.
Bro,
And
exactly. OKC has not pulled the trigger on that one like piece that's just gonna put them over the top. You know what I mean? Like you killed that A-Rod.
I think they have over the years. I think they've been stockpiling the team where it looks good.
Yeah.
But like last year in the draft, like when the Magic got homeboy from Gonzaga, what's his name? I can't think of his name off the top of my Suggs. When they got Suggs, I was like, damn, they got their point guard or they got their shooting guard. They're gonna have Cole Anthony and Suggs, and they're gonna be straight. They couldn't fucking figure it out. Now Cole Anthony's on the bench. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? But it's working. It's working. Whatever they're doing.
Paolo.
And then yeah, Paulo Banchero. Yeah, exactly. But how many years have they drafted a big guy and just couldn't get it done? Don't they have Wendell Carter too? Where's he playing? Is he center or is he the backup power forward? What's he doing?
They didn't draft him though. That was Chicago who drafted him.
I know, but they got him, and he's not like 30 years old. He's like 25.
Hey, I know is that they're 14-6, right? Like they
trust
Paulo's made the water taste good over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then OKC every year they're just fleecing the entire league for draft picks. They're like, okay, we'll give you our best player. We're gonna need your three years of draft picks for him. Yeah, grab them by the money. So OKC knows what they're doing over there. That GM, I don't know why he doesn't win GM of the year every year because he's fleecing everybody. So I look at based off of the young talent both of those teams have and the way the NBA is looking, that we keep saying, like, as the Lakers is a prime example, you got to get younger if you want to compete. These teams are getting younger, keeping that core together and playing well together. But Minnesota, for having a good starting five, and I don't know who the fuck is behind them, I got to give it to them to being number one in the West.
Yeah, I got to agree. Obviously we knew OKC was on their way, right? And we've always been talking about the Magic to be on their way, but like Minnesota's jump this year has been crazy. You know what I mean? It's been wild. And also, and I'm looking at the teams that because at the end of the day, when you're in the playoffs, right? Some teams got to drop out, right? I look at Golden State struggling. Memphis is out. Even when Ja gets back, to me, there's nothing they can do about it. And then the Spurs, who were, I thought they were going to win 33 games at 3-16. Whoops. But like, yeah, there's some bad teams in the West right now that that to me should be a lot better. So I think these teams are taking full advantage of it. And then the Pistons haven't won a game in like how long? There's a lot. Washington is bad. Chicago is bad. There's a lot of bad teams in the NBA right now. So as many good teams that we have like at the top, to me, there's a lot of bad basketball being played in the NBA. So, they could be just benefiting from that. Who knows? But yeah, I gotta say, Anthony Edwards is somebody who I really want to latch on to, Paul. So I'm Team Anthony Edwards. So let's go Minnesota. Do what you got to do. But I still hate Rudy Gobert. He's the reason why COVID started. And he gets dunked on all the time, and that's it. But does anybody have any other NBA stuff they need to get off their chest?
No, I'm content with the lay of the land of the NBA right now. The Knicks are in the 5th spot, and I'm okay with that. That's where I think they deserve to be, in my opinion. So,
Mr.
See what the trend line happens, man.
Are you guys tripping about Sam Hauser still, or did you see a little something in that game against Mr. Tyrese Halliburton that you were like, oh, okay, the boy
I was just watching their point guard, man. That's all I was paying attention to. But how you feeling about your Celtics? Though you still feel good? Obviously, I know that was a tough.
Yeah. Of course, I'm upset that they lost that tournament game, but it's not like.
What about Kristaps?
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Take his time. He should probably be back either by the end of the week, but take your time. I'm not worried too much about it.
Know this.
I warned you.
I know you guys.
I'm not
I know
stupid.
you guys. I know you guys are high on him, but last year was the only year he played the most games in his career. I want you to know that.
Well, let me ask you this: when do you go off recency?
When do I go off of recency?
Yeah, I'm just asking you that.
No, I go off of what happens to a player every year. Like it's gonna come.
What you did with Justin Herbert and Jordan Love? I'm not gonna get over that. My bad.
No, I told you I switched it. I told you I switched it because I kind of misunderstood way we were.
I'm messing.
At this. No. I trust me. I love Porzingis. I really do. I hate seeing him in green, but I'm happy you got that player because that's the type of player you need. But I'm telling you, man, he may be a unicorn, but it's gonna happen. I hope it doesn't. I hope it's like his Washington.
I said it. I was hoping that
Ain't
the recency.
nobody playing Washington hard because they can put up an easily 30 points over on them. So
yeah, that's why I said take his time. I even said it in the beginning of the season. Don't rush him. Don't get him too involved, or get him involved, but not to a point where they did. I felt like they played him very, very hard minutes to start the season. But yeah, we'll see how it works out. But I mean, if he's healthy, I like us going forward. But take your time. Let's get healthy for the playoffs, right? Let's go through the motions.
My final takeaway: Luka Doncic has a triple-double in the first half. In the first half, 29, 10, and 10. That is my pick for MVP, Sammy. You remember? I remember that face you made. My MVP looking pretty good right now. I just want to say that's my final.
What's their record?
They're like number 3, something like that in the West.
Okay.
I'm just saying, bro. I mean,
I'm just waiting for Kyrie. I'm waiting for Kyrie. Show us a gun, Kyrie. Come on.
Kyrie's happy now, bro.
on IG Live showing his shoes.
Where is Dallas? Oh, Dallas is 11-8. They're 6th. That's fine. they have one more loss than Denver. So let's park the brakes now. Let's go, Luka. That's all I got. Hey, Rod.
All right, you can you can find us on X at fair_weather_pod. You can search us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Search the Fair Weather Podcast. You'll find us there, and where you subscribe or listen to the audio, you can catch us there as well. Words of wisdom. I feel like we should give it to you since this is your sending off from being a single.
I got something to say.
You got something? All right.
Alicia Keys. This is your last chance. This is your last chance to have me. So you let me know what you try to do. You let me know what you're trying to do.
Hey, I'm posting this tomorrow, by the way.
Now you can't do that.
I'm posting this.
This is your last chance, Alicia.
Songs in a Minor. Is that Josh Giddey's guilty song?
All right. And with that note, guys, it's been real. Hopefully we're back next week. Adios. And Vic